From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Peter Murphy begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Church services have been held across the state to mark Good Friday, which for Christians signifies the passing of Jesus. Those of faith reflecting on what the holy day means to them and the broader Easter message of hope and compassion.
Gathering in reverence on one of the most sacred days for the wider Christian community. Tasmanian faithful around the state commemorating the passing of their saviour.
It's a reminder of the great sacrifice that Jesus made for us, and hopefully it'll inspire us to do better.
It's a clear demonstration of the love of Jesus for people.
He didn't have to die, but he did anyways, so we could live a better life.
Church leaders and volunteers reciting the biblical story of the crucifixion of Jesus.
It's a very solemn day. It's a day of deep reflection, day of prayer. It's also a day in which we ponder the extraordinary mystery of what Christ has done for us.
And the broader message behind his sacrifice.
The love that Jesus shows us in his death is something we are supposed to show to others.
A day that holds much meaning for many.
For me, it's more of a day where I can reflect on how I can live my life in a more meaningful way.
For me, Good Friday is about hope.
With some of our community's most vulnerable struggling to make ends meet amid the cost of living crunch, the Easter messages around selflessness and compassion are as perhaps important today as ever.
I think we are so blessed here in this state, and we should always reflect on what the needs of others are.
If we all try to bring hope to others and to live as selflessly and to give, I think it will be a much better world.
Anthony Dodd, 7 Tasmania News.
A second person has died on our roads in a tragic start to the Easter holiday period after a collision in the state's north last night. It brings the road toll to 17 for the year. Nick Kelly has more.
Another family will be spending their Easter coming to terms with the death of a loved one killed in a crash here yesterday evening. It was about 5:20 p.m. when a Mazda sedan driven by a 27-year-old woman collided with a Subaru wagon on Johnston Road in St Leonards. Police first on the scene attempted CPR, but she was unable to be revived. Her passenger, a 32-year-old man, was taken to hospital with serious injuries, while the woman behind the wheel of the other car wasn't seriously hurt. This stretch of Johnston Road stayed closed for about 13 hours while crash investigators pieced together how it happened. A short time later, the Midland Highway was blocked at Perth after a 2-vehicle crash left a Land Cruiser on its roof. It had been towing a trailer appearing to have hit the back of an SUV. No serious injuries were reported. It came just 8.5 hours after a motorcyclist was killed on the Brooker Highway in Glenorchy. Police believe he was running a red light, while overnight a 75-year-old man has died in the Royal Hobart Hospital after being struck by a car while crossing Davey Street on April 8. Just 4 months into 2025, 17 people have so far been killed on our roads. That's double this time last year when the road toll stood at 8.
The Tasmanian Planning Commission has rejected claims its draft report into Macquarie Point Stadium has been tainted by apprehended bias. In a letter to the Macquarie Point Development Corporation's legal team, the Commission says its panel drew on a range of sources, not just economist Nicholas Gruen's work. The TPC also says it conducted its own independent economic assessment of the stadium and has asked for the reasons why its report and Gruen's were regarded as biased. Tas Networks is forging ahead with the North West Transmission development, lodging its permit application with the Tasmanian Planning Commission late yesterday. It involves new high voltage power lines and substations, as well as upgrades to existing infrastructure. The project is key to linking future green energy producers to Marinus Link. Built in 2 stages, the first from Cressy to Burnie via Sheffield is due to start next year. There are a lot of sore tummies tonight with the annual Easter egg hunt wrapping up for another year. Powered by sugar, thousands of kids search the Government House gardens for a secret stash, all while raising money for sick premature babies.
An excellent way to kick off a big few chocolate-filled days.
What's your favourite thing about Easter?
Having fun and going places.
I think it's a brilliant idea. You get to see a lot about Government House and all the little nooks and crannies. It's great.
These lawns a sea of children, with 2,500 people turning out to this year's egg hunt. Kids making their way around the Government House gardens, guided by a set of clues.
You find the animals and they might have a letter and then you find where it is on the board.
Only then can you make your way to Egg HQ to claim your prize.
A few years ago we had a mad scramble of just eggs were going everywhere and the older kids were getting too many eggs and the younger kids were missing out. So this way it's a little bit fairer for everyone.
Although that remains to be seen.
I got 90. I got 1,000. A lot of chocolates.
How many do you think?
Over 73.
Despite all the hopping around, the event's seen $35,000 raised for the hospital's research centre. The team developing new tools to monitor the lungs of premature babies under care at the Royal Hobart.
They do have a tendency to stop breathing when they're that small and their lungs are so underdeveloped. So these new sensors will help the doctors keep an eye on their breath and make sure that they keep breathing when they're so small.
The annual hunt's usually held at the Royal Botanical Gardens, but this year it's here at Government House. But I have it on very good authority. The Easter Bunny's dropped off over 700 kilos of eggs for all the kids.
I'm making a carrot sword made from not real carrot.
The day out proving a useful holiday filler for parents too.
100%, yeah, get them out of the house, yeah, exactly, going crazy at home, so yeah, they get out of the house, get into the weather and stuff and enjoy it outside.
But that's only until the inevitable sugar high hits.
Happy Easter!
Ruby Cairns, 7 Tasmania News.
It's quarter time in the NTFA's crosstown clash between Launceston and North Launceston, and as predicted, it is a close affair between the two sides under lights at UTAS. The Bombers 2 goals ahead. While in the NWFL Women's League, Ulverston has fired a huge warning shot to the rest of the comp, dominating Latrobe thanks to a huge individual performance. From the opening minutes, Ulverston was in control against Latrobe, one player in particular leading the charge.
And that's a lovely kick. She's doing the damage early here.
2 goals from Tamsin Wells adding to the tally, along with 4 from Portia Lambie, but there was no stopping Luca Conkey.
She's running the show.
Latrobe rarely permitted inside their own half as she booted an incredible 10 goals.
And kicks another one. Luca Conkey has run rampant at Girdleston Park.
Ulverston winners 136-0. Latrobe would be on the giving end of the hiding in the men's, subduing East Devonport on their home track.
They've got another one. That was just all too easy.
The Demons led by Cohen Stephenson.
It's a long, raking kick.
And Cohen Jeffrey.
Jeffrey bouncing Jeffrey. First to it, boots the ball and drives through another one.
But the day belonged to Stephenson with a monster 8-goal haul.
It's been a day out for Cohen Stephenson. He's making quite the impression at his new club.
Latrobe waltzing to victory.
Dennehy off the pack, he crumbed it beautifully.
177-30 the final score. Bryden is now the only side in the SFL yet to record a win after succumbing to Kingborough 104-48 despite attempting a fourth quarter fight back. While the Launceston women have their first win of the season and their first at UTAS Stadium, dishing out a thumping 93-point win over North, 15-1 this evening. 2 weeks after parting ways with the Tassie Tigers, Heather Graham has inked a Cricket Australia deal for the 2025-26 season. Graham, who's still on board with the Canes for at least next season, has played 6 matches for Australia since her first call-up in 2019. Up-and-comers Georgia Vole and Tess Flintoff have been handed their first Australia contracts, their inclusion pushing star all-rounder Jess Jonathan off the 18-woman list.
Good evening. I hope you've had a good Friday. Hobart saw 24 today, 22 in Launceston and 20 recorded at both Devonport and Burnie. The high was 24 at Grove, Strawn and Bushy Park, 22 at Friendly Beaches, 21 on Flinders Island and at Smithton, King Island and Low Head rounding out at 20, 19 in Low Head and 15 in Lyweni. Today we saw bands of mid to high level cloud passing over the state from the west, bringing only 4 millimetres of rain to Pine Forest Moor and Scottsdale. A broad band of cloud moved over the Kimberley from tropical cyclone Errol, which is seen just offshore. Low cloud lies over the southern coast of WA and the majority of the tropics. Tomorrow, a low and cold fronts will approach central SA as a trough sits over central parts of Australia, the Cape York Peninsula and also along the north coast of WA. West-south-easterly winds 10 to 20 knots in the south, tending variable 5 to 20 knots about remaining waters. Southwesterly swells building to around 2.5 metres. Showers increasing in Hobart this Easter Saturday, 21. Showery in Medina, 18. A couple of showers also in Oatlands with 20 degrees. A high chance of showers too in the north, 23 in Launceston, Devonport 20 and 17 the top at Lyowini. More wet weather on the cards for the west, 21 in Burnie, Strawn 18. Surfs up in Marrawar as they continue to celebrate the 50th West Coast Classic surfing event and they're chasing 20 degrees. A few showers also falling towards the east, St Helens and Orford expecting 21 and 22 in Swansea. And the soggy conditions don't end there, with a high chance of showers right across the state on Easter Sunday. It's a similar story on Monday with isolated showers forecasted, and on Tuesday light showers about the south and east, but otherwise mainly fine. To the national forecast now for Easter Saturday. Stormy over Darwin tomorrow 33, a partly cloudy day in Perth 22, similar conditions in Melbourne 28, but the Sunshine State has the goods with 29 the top there. Cloud remains across the state. Hobart and Launceston both 17, Devonport 16. That's all from me tonight. Enjoy.
Thanks very much, Kaya. We'll see you tomorrow night. Thanks for joining us at home as well, and have a great weekend. Good night.